Women be so busy trying to be the good girl and make all the right choices so God will send them their husband. That's simply not how it works. One, the Bible did not promise that God was going to send everybody a husband if they be a good person. It never said that. Churches just told us that and we believed it. So there's plenty of good women who's just sitting around the church or just being a good girl at home and waiting for a man to fall in their lap. And that ain't how it works. Secondly, when these men be giving it to us 10 ways to Sunday, doing us dirty, we so worried about karma catching us that we don't want to give it back to them. If karma was real, colonizers wouldn't still be in control. If karma was real, these men would have got theirs a long time ago. That's not how. We done been believing a fairy tale for so long that we can't even recognize that the measures that we're using for how we're choosing are antiquated and ineffective. A lot of times women don't know who they are and they can't clearly say what they want. And then they're thinking that God will just miraculously send them someone, or if they just be a good person, all this good stuff is going to happen. And that's just not how the world works. Who you're choosing to partner your life with, to sign legal documents with, to procreate with, is one of the most important decisions you will ever make. And if you're using the wrong rubric to judge who you choose, you can set yourself up for a lifetime of hurt, or it'll slow you down so much that the progress that you could be making will be so thwarted because it's like you have a boulder on your back that you're carrying around with you. Wondering why it's not going how we want it to go. Wondering why karma hasn't got them. Wondering why the bad people are ahead. Because you have believed a fable. It's not whoever is the best wins the prize. The last shall be first and the first shall be last. That's not how the world works. A lot of times corrupt people will prosper. The evil people are prospering because they're willing to do whatever it takes to get to the top. So they're at the top. It's just that simple. When you stop with the fairy tales, you can start to move into reality and start choosing from a real place. If this is the person who I'm choosing to join myself with legally, I have to be able to trust them immensely, that they will not bring harm to me, that they will make wise financial decisions, or that my opinion will matter, or that they will care about how I feel. They make us feel bad, like we're not supposed to want anything out of life. Figure out the kind of life you want and try to partner yourself with someone who's on the same page. Don't even get me started on the church girl stuff, because we talking about God said you was my husband and this and that. Okay, well then you was divorced that God said, and now you get married again. Now you're on your third God said wife. When you stop with the fairy tales, you can start making logical decisions about your life and for your life. I hear so many people talk about they waiting on God, waiting on God, waiting on God. That is a myth. A lot of times what you feel inside, you're either scared to do it, you don't know how to start, or you're not capable. You're not waiting on God. That's in your mind. You're just not starting. You're procrastinating. You're procrastinating and calling it waiting on God. Y'all's understanding of what the purpose of things is skewed. So if you think my whole purpose is to find the great love of my life, the great love of your life is a myth. People choose. People get married and divorced every single day. Divorce rates is super high and climbing. Marriage is declining because people are realizing that our whole lives revolving around romance is a scheme. Your whole life is not supposed to revolve around romance. That's why I tell women they need a whole circle of connectivity with others, of who they consider to be their companionship and connectivity. So you got your partner, you got your kids, you got your parents, you got your siblings and extended family, you got your co-workers, colleagues, mentor-mentee relationships, church family, clubs or organizations you belong to. All these things make up your circle of connectivity. Your partner should only be one little piece. And that way, if any one of these little pieces, when your parents pass away, or when you deconstruct religion or whatever, any of these things comes out of place, you don't fall apart because you have a full circle. The circle can close in, the circle can hold up any parts that are missing. When you just are focused on romance, your vision is so skewed that all these other things fall off and you start to become desperate, and then you start choosing wrong.